What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul. This is the Leeds Therapy. Thank you, as ever, for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. I hope you're doing well. If you've not done so already, if you could make sure that you're following all of my socials. So YouTube, make sure you're subscribed. You've got your notifications turned on. Any comments that you want to make, feel free. Leave them in the comment section down below. Then for the audio side of things, if you could give the audio a like rating. I am on all of your normal audio sections, so on Spotify and on Apple Podcasts as well. So yeah, if you could give those a rating, I would greatly appreciate it. So today, excuse me, sorry, windy pops. I've got a slight confession to make before the video actually starts. And that is, I didn't watch the game last night because I got back from my training in London at the new job and laid on the couch, saw the lineup, thought, yep, that makes a lot of sense, fell asleep, and the next thing I know, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I've slept nearly 13 hours. I'm also full of cold as well. You might not be able to see, but my right eye is a little bit got bloodshot and all of that kind of good stuff. So I'm slightly under the weather, but it is what it is. London's a dirty place. It's one of those things. But yeah, the game against Newcastle, I didn't actually get to watch the game because I fell asleep. And I looked at the score. I saw a message from my dad, and my dad said, gutted. And I thought, oh no, what's happened? What's gone on? And then I looked at the score and saw that it was 4-3. And he was like, how have you fallen asleep and not been able to watch probably one of the greatest Premier League games going, you know, a la Liverpool, Newcastle, etc., so on and so forth. Oh, and quick point to make as well before I get into my little piece on everything. Kevin Keegan, really, really sad news yesterday with regards to the cancer diagnosis. I hope he is doing okay, and I hope that he has the ability to make a recovery at the same time as well. And look, you've got to be honest, that was definitely in the spirit of King Kev, wasn't it? There's no two ways about it. Just one of those weird, odd games of football where you look at it and go, I don't quite know how to feel about it. Yeah, it's gutting. You lose a goal in the 112th minute, even though there was 10 minutes of extra time. There was a couple of substitutions that were made after 90 minutes, which should technically be 30 seconds per sub, but for some reason he paid an extra 2 minutes. Whatever, it is what it is. You can't, headline-wise, I suppose you should say, is that you can't go ahead 3 times in a game and walk away as the loser. You can't score 3 goals away from home and not win the game. But from a positive side of things, and I keep saying this, we were bound, I say positive, from a reality side of things. We weren't going to maintain an unbeaten run forever. That's one thing that we need to just be aware of. We're still 8 points clear. That's another factor. So that's still a positive. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is now 8 in 9. Another positive. Brendan Aronson. Don't know what we've done with Brendan Aronson, but Brendan Aronson has turned into just an unbelievable footballer. 2 great goals last night. Really, really, really good goals. He is on SofaScore. He is the top-rated player of the match. He's walked away with a 9.3 score. I mean, I know it's done on algorithms and everything, but great game. Just little highlights that I've seen of Brendan Aronson as well. His tracking back was really, really good. He ran himself into the ground, but he's playing with so much confidence and he's playing with so much style and desire at the moment that he's the player that we thought we were going to get originally. That's what I've seen over the last 2 games, quite a few games now this season, but also as well, that little partnership that he's building up with Calvert-Lewin is looking really, really good and really, really profitable. They seem to have a very good understanding of each other, running off of each other or as such, you know, taking the ball on and being able to move it forwards to the right player. The run that Calvert-Lewin makes when Brendan Aronson scores his second goal is really clever because he pulls 2 defenders with him to create the space. Just really, really good all-round play, which is really, really positive to see. The other positive for me is that we didn't give up. We kept going at it. We kept going at it. We kept going at them from a point of view of we were wondering where goals were going to come from. We can't seem to stop scoring at this moment in time, which is good to see. Also, we're now at the end of that run of games over the, quote unquote Christmas period, even though it wasn't because there was only one game on Boxing Day. But we're now over that run of games where we thought there's a strong possibility where we might not get any points here at all. And look at where we stand. So I'm happy in that sense. What I'm not happy about last night was the defending. Last night was the first night I feel like the defence really had a big part to play in the downfall of the team. And just, they were due one, I think. Not because they're bad, just because it was bound to happen. But another thing to point out as well, another positive, Beehol has now also kept Wattermold pretty much marshalled throughout a game again. So I've got no notes for Beehol. He's still absolutely immense. I have a slight inkling that it might have been too quick for Rodon to come back, maybe. Not that he was at fault for most things. I thought Struijk had a indecisive game. He was coming at tackles slightly wrong. I thought the left-hand side of the defence, Newcastle's right-hand side, was a little bit out of sorts. So Struijk was making sort of slight indecisions. Goodmanson was getting beaten a couple of times from some of the highlights that I've seen, and it was disappointing to see. But the other side of things is when we scored goals as well, what we seemed to do for some reason was sit deep after we scored the goals rather than kind of maintaining that push. We tried to sit a little bit deeper, and I think maybe that was a bit jitterish from the Manchester game where we were really, really unorganised after Brendan Aronson scored his goal and Man U equalised. But they just weren't quite at the races yesterday, and that sometimes can be the difference. Now, a lot of people are blaming the goalkeeper for a lot of what happened yesterday. I'm a yes and no man on this one, and I'll get to it as to why. I think, bar the penalty, the two other outfield, bar the penalty in the Barnes second goal, the two outfield goals that are scored is more a defensive side of things, and we need to be better and we need to be clearer on that. The Joe Linton goal was something that just shouldn't have happened for me yesterday. There was indecisiveness in terms of they thought the ball was going to just roll out and nobody backed up to chase it, and then nobody was back in at the right time to sort it out, to defend properly. Consequently, he's there, headed goal, etc., so on and so forth. The fourth goal that Newcastle score, it's a difficult one because it comes through a crowd of players. However, with that being said, the XG people have come out and said that 82% of the time that goal should be saved. Now, the problem is that when he gets down to it, yes, he probably sees it late, but it's almost like he dives over the ball slightly. So for me, Perry's got to be doing better there. One thing that is very, very clear at this moment in time, above everything, is on corners. They are clearly targeting Perry at the moment. He's new to the league. He's still a little bit flaky in some sort of situation, shall we say, but they are clearly targeting Perry at this moment in time. And, Newcastle are one of the best at set pieces. It's part and parcel of their bread and butter. It's what they do. But I think it's important to note throughout the entire game, as disappointing as it is, and as gut-wrenching as it is to lose that goal at that time and for that to happen, it was bound to come at some point. We were going to get a loss at some point, and it might be the best time for it to come because the guys have absolutely run themselves into the absolute ground over these last few weeks, and it's clear to see that some of them are absolutely knackered. And with the FA Cup coming up, at the weekend. And listen, I'm going to be 100% honest here. I could care less about the FA Cup. I'm not bothered. All I'm bothered about is survival. That's all I care about in this season is survival. That's all that I want to see. And that team that played last night, yes, they lost, but that team, the ability that they have going forward, play ability, everything, they're putting themselves into a really good chance of not being able to go down, which is the main thing. So for the FA Cup game against Derby, rotate the squad, play the kids. I don't care. But these guys now that have put in so much load, effort, stress, and pressure over the last however many weeks, they deserve a bit of a rest and a bit of a time to recuperate. And I know a lot of people, one person commented on my video saying, well, they're professional athletes, they should be able to do that. It's not quite as simple as that. When you're talking about running at a constant pace, sprinting up and slowing down over 90 minutes, 100 minutes, and then being asked to do that over a period of like once every 72 hours, it takes a toll on your body. It absolutely takes a toll on your body. I'm somebody that trains 4 days a week. I couldn't train 5 days a week, or I couldn't train specifically every other day without being knackered. I have to take a rest day in between. A, because I'm 45, but B, because physically, the physical exertion and the time it takes for me to recuperate takes a little while for that to happen properly. So you can imagine what it must be like for elite level athletes that are playing quite a large number of games in a short period of time, and what that can do to your physical attributes, and then it has in turn decision making, etc. So on and so forth. But the one thing that I did want to press on was the referee, and overall he had a decent-ish game, but I'm surprised that Joe Linton was still on the pitch, because of the sarcastic clapping, always being in the ref's face, and just being an all-round shithouse, for want of a better phrase. Especially when you consider that Jack Grealish got a yellow card and sent off for sarcastically clapping at the referee. Then also as well, Harvey Barnes, in 2 instances. In the first half, he pulls a player back, doesn't get booked. In the second half, pulls a player back, doesn't get booked. It's just that consistency of referees within the game sometimes that I find a little bit frustrating, and running things to the letter of the law. But again, would that have made much difference to the game itself? Who knows? It's just one of those things. Nobody can tell. We sit here and go, if this might have happened, that might have happened. It was a bloody good game of football. There's no two ways about it. It was an absolutely brilliant, pulsating game of football for the neutral. You're gutted if you're a Leeds United fan. You're on cloud 9 if you're a Newcastle fan. But I'm proud of the boys because they didn't give up. Little bit of decision making, a little bit of naivety changes things around and changes the actual result itself. But it is what it is. It's football. These things swing in roundabouts. And like I said, the FA Cup game coming when it's coming is probably not the worst thing. Again, apologies that I'm not giving you I've watched the game kind of review. I've studied a couple of highlights packages. There's a highlight package of Brendan Aronson doing the rounds from the game last night. And again, phenomenal. I can't speak highly enough of him at the moment. And it must be galling, having scored two goals personally, to not be on the winning side. But he's been brilliant. He's been absolutely amazing. That's the positives that I take from it. Ampadu being back is another positive that we take back. Rodon being back is another positive that we take back. I hope Bogle is okay. Justin was fine, but I prefer Bogle in that right wing back position. That's just a personal preference. But like I said, it just means that players now are going to have the ability to get a little bit of rest before the next Premier League fixture, which is the main thing, in my humble opinion. That's going to do it for this one. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you have, please don't forget to click the like button. If you're new to the channel, please also don't forget to subscribe, turn the notifications on, all of that good stuff. I feel your disappointment. Genuinely, I do, because I'm feeling it myself. I'm just a bit delirious at the moment. Take care of each other. Most importantly, take care of yourself. I will see you on the next one. Take care. Cheers.